Hey guys, this is Sherbach, and I've used a 12-inch MacBook for over 2 months, and that's enough time for me to give you the verdict. This is the second time I've used a MacBook extensively because I always want to keep coming back to a PC, but I feel like giving Apple a second chance. The specs for the base model may lead you to believe that this computer is slow, but not necessarily. Although the specs are incredibly low, worse than like really cheap computers, only a 1.1 gigahertz Core M3, which may sound awful, but it honestly really isn't that bad. It feels a lot faster than you believe. Web browsing has no problems, and Microsoft Office and Adobe Creative Cloud all works as you'd want to, and also Apple's first-party apps obviously work like GarageBand, iMovie, etc., etc. Please just don't expect to run any games outside of the App Store because I've tried and it miserably fails. This computer isn't handled for any type of games, even though if other Macs can run the game, this one will not be able to. Because I use this computer for school, I can most appreciate how light it is. It is incredibly light, and I really like how light it is. It is the lightest computer I've ever tried before. I know there are lighter PCs, but I'm a big fan of how light this is. For a small laptop, it actually does pack an above average battery that gets me through the day unplugged, no problem. The second worst thing about this computer though is definitely the webcam. A webcam isn't too important for a laptop, but this is just absolutely awful. It's 480p and it sucks. It's barely sufficient for even a video call. So I'll just go to photo booth. It's actually completely awful. It is so bad. And I'll get to the worst thing about this laptop later in the video, but this is definitely the second worst thing. The keyboard is a hit or a miss. It's the butterfly keyboard, and it does work great and it feels good. Some people love it and others hate it. I don't recommend buying this if you dislike butterfly keys. Another thing I dislike is actually the amount of different dongles you will need. The only port is a single USB Type-C port meant for charging. And if you're planning on buying dongles, I recommend not buying first-party Apple dongles because they are way more expensive. For example, I bought a third-party dongle from Amazon for about 20 Canadian dollars, and at Apple, it's $90. It had a HDMI USB port and a USB Type-C thing for charging, or more dongles. The thing is though, out of all the MacBooks Apple sells are already super light, like the MacBook Air and MacBook Pro. While this is the lightest, it isn't a game changer compared to the other ones they still sell. If you ask a MacBook Air and MacBook Pro user, then they won't wish that their computer is lighter because it already is super light. This just takes the lightness to a next level. I know it sounds like I think this computer is great, and I do love this computer. It's great. And I've had a great time with this computer and haven't had any day-to-day problem besides the webcam, and I don't even use a webcam that much, and other people don't either. The problem is, I think there's a computer out there that's better for your money. The problem with this is price. It retails at the Apple Store for 1,700 Canadian dollars. That's a lot. If you are fine spending that much on a MacBook, I recommend buying the MacBook Pro. With the MacBook Pro, you are getting everything better and 4 USB Type-C ports. The only thing you're missing out on is a 256 gigabyte SSD, and because the MacBook Pro base model only has 128. If you buy the one that's $1,900, not that much more expensive, you're getting a 256 gigabyte SSD and so much more than this piece of hardware. It's just a little heavier and a little bigger, and people might like a bigger screen. But another great option is the new MacBook Air that just came out. If you spend the same price as this, you are going to get 2 ports, Touch ID, and a way faster processor, and a newer Mac experience. maybe the SSD isn't important to you and you decide to step it down to the base model, which is 128 as SSD, and you get so much more in everything else and you save so much money. It really is a damn shame that Apple prices so high for no reason and the other ones are more reasonably priced compared to this. That is why I don't recommend buying this laptop. There is very few people I recommend it to. Maybe people who just want the lightest laptop or a 12-inch laptop. It doesn't make any sense to buy it. Thank you so much for watching my first tech video, and I'll see you in the next one.